The word outsider sliced through the room like a blade as I stood frozen, champagne flute trembling in my hand. My mother-in-law's voice hung in the air between us, casual yet devastating. I watched my husband's family continue discussing their Mediterranean cruise. It was the one I'd secretly paid for 6 months ago as their anniversary gift. They were explicitly uninviting me from joining. Family only means blood family, my father-in-law Nathan explained with that condescending smile I'd grown to recognize. No outsiders. The brochures scattered across their coffee tables seemed to blur before my eyes. The deluxe suite with the private balcony, the Santorini sunset excursion, the family dinners I'd never be part of because, after 8 years of marriage, I was still somehow not family. My name is Leslie, I'm 36 and a marketing executive. This is the story of how I stopped bankrolling people who treated me like an unwelcome guest. I'd spent years trying to earn my place in the Jackson family, 8 years of marriage to their son, Paul, 2 miscarriages they never acknowledged, and countless family gatherings where I was treated like an employee rather than a daughter-in-law. But I'd also spent years quietly covering their financial emergencies. I paid for vacations they couldn't afford and solved problems they pretended didn't exist. "We're explaining to Leslie about the cruise," Olivia said smoothly to her son as he walked in from the kitchen, "how it's for family only." I watched my husband's face, waiting for him to defend me. Instead, he shrugged. "It's their anniversary, Les. Their choice." Their choice. Like I was a casual acquaintance, not his wife of 8 years. The room seemed to contract around me, the familiar sensation of being invisible in plain sight. I'd felt it at Paul's company party when Olivia introduced me as Paul's wife, the one who does computer things, instead of the chief marketing officer of a company with 50 employees. I'd felt it when Nathan had called my successful business a little hobby while cashing the checks that paid for his new golf clubs. "Of course," I said, surprised by how steady my voice sounded. "Your celebration, your rules." Nathan looked pleased, like I'd finally learned my place. "Knew you'd understand. Besides, someone needs to watch the house while we're gone. You wouldn't mind, would you?" "Not at all," I replied, already pulling out my phone. "In fact, let me help with something right now." They watched as I scrolled through my contacts. Olivia smiled, probably thinking I was going to offer to house sit properly, maybe water her precious orchids. "Oceania Cruises VIP desk? Yes, this is Leslie Jackson, account number 447829. I kept my voice pleasant, professional. "I need to discuss the Mediterranean dream booking for next month." Nathan frowned. "What are you doing?" I held up a finger. "Yes, that's correct. The booking for 8 people. The one with the $25,000 deposit." I paused, feeling their stares intensify. "I'd like to cancel it, please." The room went silent except for the customer service representative's voice confirming the cancellation. "What?" Olivia's voice came out as a squeak. "You can't!" "Actually, I can," I said, still on the phone. "Yes, please process the full cancellation. Credit back to the card on file. Perfect, thank you so much." I hung up and smiled at their shocked faces. "That was our cruise!" Nathan roared, his face turning an alarming shade of red. "No," I corrected. "That was my cruise, paid for with my credit card from my marketing firm's bonus last year. You know, the job you always call playing on computers?" But we planned everything," Olivia stammered. "The whole family was going." "The whole family minus one outsider," I reminded her. "So now the whole family can stay home together. Won't that be nice?" Paul's sister Rebecca jumped up. "This is insane. Paul, control your wife." Paul stood frozen, his mouth opening and closing like a fish. "Les, you paid for the cruise?" "Every penny," I confirmed. "Did you think your parents suddenly had $25,000 lying around? Your dad's been retired for 5 years, and your mom spends her pension on QVC." "I booked it 6 months ago as their anniversary gift," I continued. "Surprise." "You vindictive little," Nathan started. Careful, I warned. Vindictive outsiders might also mention the family reunion in Vegas I paid for, or Rebecca's destination wedding in Cabo, or the down payment on Paul's sister Jamie's house. You didn't pay for Jamie's house, Olivia protested weakly. Check with Jamie, I suggested. Ask her where the mysterious $50,000 savings came from. While you're at it, ask her why she needed it. Something about credit card debt from funding her husband's failed business. Paul sank onto the couch. How much? How much have you spent on my family over the years? I pretended to think. Between the vacations, the emergencies, the loans that were never repaid, the gifts for events I was barely welcome at, about $200,000. The collective gasp was satisfying. But you never said anything, Rebecca whispered. Because I thought that's what family did, I said. Silly me. I thought 8 years of generosity might earn me a seat at the table, or at least on the anniversary cruise I paid for. We'll pay you back, Nathan said stiffly. I laughed. Actually laughed. With what? Your Social Security? Olivia's jewelry she had to sell last year when you couldn't make the mortgage? I turned to face my husband. Oh yes, I know about that too. Who do you think covered the difference? Paul knew? Olivia turned on her son. I didn't know, Paul protested. Les, why didn't you tell me? Because every time I tried to discuss family finances, you said it wasn't my place, remember? That's between me and my parents, Les. Don't interfere with family matters, Les. You wouldn't understand our dynamic, Les. I stood up, gathering my purse. Well, now I'm officially not interfering. Your parents need a new anniversary plan? Not my problem. Rebecca needs money for her next scheme? Not my problem. Jamie needs another bailout? Definitely not my problem. You can't just cut us off, Rebecca shrieked. I'm not cutting you off, I said calmly. I'm accepting my place as an outsider. Outsiders don't pay for family vacations. They don't cover family debts. They don't sacrifice their savings for people who treat them like unwelcome guests. This is about more than money, Olivia said coldly. You've never fit in. You don't understand our traditions, our way of life. Your tradition of taking my money while treating me like dirt? I interrupted. You're right. I don't understand it, and I'm done trying to... I headed for the door, then paused. Oh, Paul, I'll be at the Ritz tonight. The honeymoon suite. Already paid for, so I might as well use it. You can join me when you decide whether you're married to me or to your family's bank account. Les, wait. No, I said firmly. I've waited 8 years for you to defend me, to tell them I'm not an outsider, to act like I'm your wife instead of your ATM. I'm done waiting. If you leave now, Nathan threatened, you're never welcome in this house again. Promise? I asked. Because that sounds like the best anniversary gift you could give me. I walked out, ignoring the shouting behind me. My phone started buzzing immediately. Paul, then Olivia, then Rebecca, then Jamie from 3 states away. Word traveled fast in the Jackson family when the money tap turned off. I ignored them all and called my lawyer instead. Tara, it's Leslie. Remember that postnuptial agreement we discussed? I think it's time to draft it. Yes, full financial separation. And Tara, make sure it includes a clause about family gifts requiring both spouses' written consent. By the time I reached the Ritz, my phone had 47 missed calls. I turned it off and checked in using the corporate card from my company, the successful marketing firm I'd built while the Jacksons called me a hobby entrepreneur. The honeymoon suite was gorgeous. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, a bathroom bigger than Olivia's beloved orchid room, champagne chilling in a silver bucket. I poured myself a glass and stepped onto the balcony. I powered my phone back on for business emails, and it immediately exploded with texts. Jamie, is it true you paid my down payment? Mom says you're lying. Rebecca, this is theft. We'll sue. Nathan, no granddaughter of mine would behave this way. That last one made me laugh. Granddaughter. I wasn't even a daughter-in-law to them. Then finally, Paul, I'm in the lobby. Can we talk? I considered it. 8 years of marriage, 2 lost babies he'd grieved with me, even if his family hadn't. The man who'd promised to love and cherish me, but forgot the part about forsaking all others when others meant his family. Room 2012, I texted back. He arrived looking haggard, still in the same clothes from dinner. Les, I'm so sorry, I had no idea. Which part? I asked, not moving from the balcony. That they treated me like an outsider, or that I was bankrolling their lifestyle while they did it? Both, he admitted, sinking into a chair. Mom's crying, Dad's threatening to disown me, Rebecca's calling every lawyer in town, and Jamie called to say thank you, he said quietly. She's been carrying the guilt for 2 years, thinking Mom and Dad had sacrificed their savings for her. She had no idea it was you. At least someone appreciates it. I appreciate it, Paul said. I never saw it. They're my parents. I thought their little digs were just personality conflicts. Paul, your mother introduced me at your company party last month as Daniel's wife, the one who does computer things. I'm the CMO of a company with 50 employees. He winced. I know. Do you? Because when she said it, you laughed. I was uncomfortable. You were complicit, I corrected. Every time you stayed silent, you agreed with them. I wasn't family, I was just the woman you happened to marry, the outsider who inexplicably kept paying for everything. What do you want me to do? He asked desperately. Cut them off? Never speak to them again? I want you to choose, I said simply. Either I'm your family, your primary family, or I'm not. Either we're a unit that makes decisions together, or we're not. Either you defend me like a husband should, or you don't. But I'm done living in this middle ground where I'm family when the bills come due, but an outsider the rest of the time. They're my parents, he said weakly. And I'm your wife, the one who held your hand through your appendectomy, who supported you when you changed careers, who paid for your parents' dream cruise while they called me an outsider. Paul was quiet for a long moment. Then, period. Can I see the receipts? What? The receipts for everything you've paid for. I want to see them. I pulled out my phone and opened the folder I'd been keeping, because of course I kept records. I'm a businesswoman, after all. Ever since Jamie called me in tears 2 years ago about her financial troubles, I'd started documenting everything. Paul was always dismissive when I tried to discuss his family's finances, so I handled matters directly with them and kept meticulous records as a precaution. I handed it to him and watched his face pale as he scrolled. 213,000, he whispered. In 8 years, plus the cruise they just lost. They told me they were doing better financially. They said Dad's investments had paid off. He looked up at me, and for the first time in years, I saw him actually seeing me. You never said anything. I tried. You didn't want to hear it. No, he admitted. I didn't. We sat in silence, the city lights twinkling below us. Finally, Paul stood up. I need to go talk to them, he said. My heart sank. Of course, back to Mommy and Daddy. But first, he continued, I need to know if you'll consider couples counseling and a financial advisor and maybe a therapist just for me to figure out why I've been such a blind idiot. I blinked. What? You're right about all of it. I've been a terrible husband. I let them treat you like an outsider while you were the only one actually acting like family. Real family doesn't keep score or demand gratitude. They just help, like you've been doing. He took a deep breath. I'm going to tell them that until they apologize. Really apologize. Not just because they want your money. They won't be seeing either of us. And if they can't accept you as family, then I guess I'll be an outsider too. I stared at him. You'd do that? I should have done it 8 years ago. The question is, will you give me a chance to do it now? I thought about it. 8 years of frustration and hurt, but also 8 years of love, laughter, shared dreams. The man who'd helped me through miscarriages, who'd celebrated my business successes, who'd made me laugh even on my worst days. Counseling, I said finally, and a postnuptial agreement, and your parents don't get another penny from me unless it's a genuine gift that we both agree on. Deal, he said immediately. Can I stay tonight, or should I get my own room? I poured a second glass of champagne and handed it to him. Stay, but you're calling your parents first, on speaker. He winced but pulled out his phone. Nathan answered on the first ring. Paul, did you talk sense into her? We need to rebook that cruise before... Dad, Paul interrupted, I need you to listen very carefully. Leslie is my wife, my family. If you can't treat her with the respect she deserves, the respect she's more than earned, then you won't be seeing either of us. The silence was deafening. You're choosing her over us? Olivia's voice shrill in the background. I'm choosing my marriage, Paul corrected, the way I should have from the beginning. Leslie has been more family to you than I have. She's the one who made sure you kept your house, Dad. She's the one who saved Jamie from bankruptcy, Mom, and you called her an outsider. That money was from you, Nathan protested. No, Dad, it wasn't. I make good money, but not that good. Every gift from us, that was Leslie. Every vacation, Leslie. Every bailout, Leslie. And you couldn't even include her in your anniversary cruise. We'll pay her back, Olivia said weakly. I don't want your money, I called out. I want an apology, a real one, and I want to be treated like what I am, your son's wife, your daughter-in-law, family. Or what? Nathan blustered. Or nothing, I said simply. Paul and I will live our lives, and you'll live yours, separately, your choice. I nodded to Paul, who ended the call. That was terrifying, he said. That was overdue, I corrected. We spent the night talking, really talking, for the first time in years, about money, about family, about boundaries, about the children we still hope to have, and how we'd never let them treat their spouses the way I'd been treated. The next morning, my phone had dozens of messages. I ignored most of them, but one stood out. Jamie. Leslie, I just wanted to say thank you, not just for the money, but for finally standing up to them. Maybe now things can change. You've always been my favorite sister-in-law. Actually, you've been my only real sister. I smiled and showed it to Paul. She's right, he said. You've been the best part of this family. I'm sorry it took losing a cruise for me to defend that. Better late than never, I said. So, what now? Do we wait for them to apologize? We live our lives, I said, together as a family, and if they want to be part of that, they know the price of admission. Respect, Paul said. It's a lot cheaper than a cruise, I pointed out. 3 weeks later, Olivia called, not to apologize, but to complain that their mortgage payment was due and their usual help wasn't available. I'm sorry to hear that, I said pleasantly. Have you considered a financial advisor? I hear they're very helpful for outsiders. She hung up on me, but 2 months after that, a different call came. Nathan, sounding older and tired. Leslie, we owe you an apology, a real one. Could we take you and Paul to dinner? Our treat. And I mean actually our treat, not yours. It was a start. Not a fairy tale ending where everyone suddenly becomes perfect, but a start. And for the first time in 8 years, I wasn't paying for it. 6 months later, I booked a cruise. For Paul and me. A second honeymoon where I was actually wanted, actually welcome, actually family. We sent the Jacksons a postcard from Santorini. Wish you were here, it said, but only if you really mean it. Because that's what family does. They mean it. And after 8 years of meaning it alone, I finally had a partner who meant it too. The view from our private balcony was spectacular, but not as spectacular as hearing Paul tell the couple at the next table. This is my wife, Leslie. She's the best thing that ever happened to our family. Our family. 2 words that made a $25,000 cruise worth every penny, even if I was the only one paying for it. This time, by choice. Before you go, here's a quick bonus for sticking around. If you love learning and growing like I do, you need to try audiobooks. I've got an exclusive deal with Audible. Your first month is completely free. That's access to over 500,000 titles. 0 cost to you. All the details are waiting in the description. Don't miss this one.